Hey there, hi there, ho there. We're as happy as can be. Bob, Eddie, Julio, Season 2, Episode 2 of Three Ball Walk.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us. And there were some injuries, I believe. There was one major one, and I can't remember. And I actually flipped the Sports Center. I tuned in a little before because I wanted to see who got hurt. And NFL Live was on, you know, because there's so much happening in the NFL these days. So they've got the 1 hour NFL Live in the afternoon, and they've got one right before Sports Center every night.
I'll check with our crack research department and be back with you in just a second.
Okay.
You guys carry on.
But here's the one thing, Eddie, and you went on your tirade last week, and we don't want you to go on the same tirade.
No.
Although we do want you to. New thing of this season is you going on your tirade, but you were talking about the commissioner.
Yes.
The former
former
commissioner,
commissioner.
the Hall of Fame commissioner,
Self-appointed Hall of Famer, yeah.
and how baseball fell apart with the drugs under his watch. Okay, can it be said that baseball's popularity fell apart under his watch?
Yes, I think so. I think that he was there when the whole PE thing broke loose. McGuire and Sosa saved the game of baseball, and then the deterioration of the game. I think he was the commissioner.
And when you say deterioration of the game, has the game deteriorated, Eddie?
The game
has not
deteriorated.
Sorry, now you may think the fan base has.
Right.
Are you talking about Hanley Ramirez?
Did Hanley get hurt?
Well, he's dealing with a sore shoulder in the whole
That
World
was it?
League. Yeah, the Dominican
The World Baseball
World
Classic?
Baseball Classic playing for the Dominican. That's the only thing I could find. So if there's something else,
Okay.
it got buried somewhere in the local paper. But I'm not. I don't think the game has declined. I think maybe the number of fans who watch it has declined.
I think the NFL does a much better job of marketing than MLB does. And I think with ESPN showing NFL Live twice a day during spring
How
training.
much can you listen
how
to
much
the
of that-
entire career of Adrian Peterson on February 28th to find out that he has not been renewed, and they talk about it for 15 minutes during SportsCenter, and then they spend half hour of the 1 hour NFL Today while spring training just started. You got teams deciding on their cuts, their starting rotations, new free agent signings, how certain people are fitting in, and they're spending a good 1 hour of yesterday talking about Adrian Peterson.
How many games of baseball does ESPN have in a regular week?
Quite a few.
They have quite a few, or just one?
They
No.
do Sunday, and they do.
And then they do double headers, and they do
Sometimes they do double
triple headers on Labor Day and Memorial Day and 4th
But
of July.
on average, though, it's not like that all the time. They do.
There have been more than the NFL.
What is the connection? That'd be something to. I certainly don't know. The connection between MLB and ESPN that's different from NFL and ESPN.
How many NFL games does ESPN
That's
have?
what I mean.
One?
That's what I mean. No, they do two. I think.
Right, but ESPN
I don't
is
think
the
they do. I think
worldwide leader, and they pimp football 24/7.
I get that. That's what I'm saying.
And 12 and 365-12.
How
Exactly.
is it that NFL has their own network, so MLB has their own network, so those two
And the
are,
MLB network is actually more viewed and more popular than the NFL network.
and those two are equal. You know, those two balance each other out. So why is it that ESPN gives more credence to the NFL coverage than Major League Baseball coverage? There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a demographic study. There has to be something.
And
that
I
says
understand.
They don't pull.
And I understand from August to December, or August to January. But in July and March,
And it's still got to
I
be.
mean, excuse me, in February and March.
There's still got to be some demographic that says people don't care as much about baseball and spring training as people care.
They don't
about-
even give the scores anymore. This is the first year. They're not scrolling
They're not
the
even
scores
scrolling
on
scores
the
from the
bottom.
Grapefruit League anymore. And maybe that's something with MLB that doesn't give them the rights, as we were just talking to about, putting up video somewhere up in here on the picture or whatever.
Look, can you put a picture of Hanley Ramirez right here, right now?
Maybe. I
Try
probably
to get him right
can.
here. Hanley got hurt. World Baseball Classic playing for the Dominican Republic.
I don't know if he got hurt there, but he's got a sore shoulder. So,
Sore shoulder.
yeah, on the right shoulder, as a matter of fact.
That's the right shoulder.
Which, which
My
is
left shoulder.
Your left shoulder.
That's his right
But I don't know if maybe ESPN has some kind of contractual problem going with baseball that's behind the scenes, and they're like, you know what? you don't want to throw us a bone, we're not going to throw you a bone kind of thing.
Well, you look at something like, let's use our town. We live in Gainesville, Florida, if you didn't know, and the University of Florida. This is a football town. I will say this, though. Last weekend at that baseball stadium, it was pretty full.
Three sellouts.
Three sellouts, right? And it's but the second largest crowd ever on Saturday
But
night.
it's Miami. Okay, they always sell out.
It is Miami.
That always sells out Miami. That's a different thing.
Here, it doesn't mean that that's going to be the same thing.
You know, tonight will it be packed with, or last night was it packed with UCF?
UCF, I don't know. I wasn't over there. I was over at Gainesville High School.
But the point is, it's better than I would rather watch UCF.
I would too.
If it's on TV than them sit there and debate on who the starting running back is for the Gators in September when we're in February and half these guys haven't even practiced in spring yet.
Oh, no doubt. I'm with you, but there's got to be a reason why beyond just ESPN doesn't like baseball.
Well, and you said one time too. Last year, I remember, and this is a good point. It's their product at NFL. I mean, it's and they. I would like to know, like you said, the demographic. I like to know about the powers that be, what the thinking is, why they. It's just a constant barrage of football.
Well,
nothing against football
because
it's a great
football
sport.
is the driving sport in America, hands down. NFL, NCAA. Any level you want to get to, high school football, no program, no high school, no college, nowhere. If they have football, that's going to be their driving sport.
Well, I'll tell you.
Even at Kentucky, where basketball is king, the money still comes from football.
Well, I'll tell you the one thing with the rule changes speed up the game, which I've sat there through football games hoping one would end because it was dragging as well.
Oh, no doubt.
But we talked last night. They start the point down to first base rule, and Texas A&M wins a game on a wild pitch during an intentional walk.
Yeah.
That was last week.
Last
night, Jacksonville State beats Alabama because
The Jacksonville State Gamecocks, by the way.
intentional walk in the 10th inning. Alabama and Jacksonville State guy up the bat. This time it wasn't a wild pitch. It was right to the catcher, glances off his glove, pass ball, and the guy scores from third, and Jacksonville State won 2-1. So that's 2 weeks, 2 instances where saving those 45 seconds changed the game.
Would have cost the game.
I had someone come to me and ask me because they watched the show last week. Thank you, and they said, "What did we talked about last week about the 4 balls?" I said it's idiotic.
It changes the game.
Completely.
And it has
and
changed.
You don't hear anybody
and
go.
Yet, but
right.
see, here's my point. I was about to say is if this is your baseball fan base,
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and all of a sudden Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire start having a home run race, and these people get interested.
Right.
Okay, or Tom Brady starts coming to Red Sox games, and these people get interested because they like
of young ladies, probably.
you know, and you see that and everything like that. So all of a sudden, your baseball fan base at a certain time grows like this, right?
Right.
And what Major League Baseball has been doing, from changing the rules to interleague to DH, and I know I'm not going to get on that tangent and everything like that.
Well, that could be the rant for the
day. They try to change the fan base by adding to it like that. But what they really do is this part here, which is the regular fan base that loves the sport.
Oh, you're tearing it.
They lose that.
You're tearing it. You're tearing it.
Okay.
You're tearing it.
So now your regular fan base is like that, and then when all of a sudden the little extra bonus items that these people like disappear, now you've really shrunk your fan base.
Oh, no doubt.
And what they do is they could care less about. It's like the restaurant that has a great base, and you work so
We're
hard.
now on Julio's rant. Keep going.
Yeah, go.
You work so hard at trying to get people from the outside to come to your restaurant that you don't treat your regular customers right, and then all of a sudden, now when a new restaurant opens up and those periphery people start going to the new restaurant, now your restaurant goes bankrupt because you didn't take care of the fan base that you had originally, and that is what baseball's doing. They're forgetting about their regular hardcore baseball fans, trying like us, anyone who's watching this show is a hardcore baseball fan. Why else would you be watching?
Yeah, my wife doesn't even watch this. So.
That's my point. And look, and she would get to see you.
Well, that's why. She sees me all the time.
But you never hear anybody.
But you really do. You
I
lose
understand.
the fan base the core baseball fans at the expense of trying to attract people that when the wind blows in another direction, they're going to be gone anyway.
Like I said this before, baseball do anything it can to shoot itself in the foot. You never hear anybody go, well, that football game was just too long. Or like, basketball overtime, well, we're going to have just a free throw shooting contest to decide. No, you play the game. And baseball doesn't do anything else. Leave the game alone.
It's all, everything changed.
Home run derby contest if the game goes after 12 innings.
Exactly. That's what we're going to.
That's where we'll head to. Maybe see who can steal third, and if you make it, you win. It's when the rules began to change is when TV started taking over. When TV began to drive, the revenue, the money drives the game. So if TV money is paying for the game, all right? So whatever contract that is, MLB Network, your own network that has to run through MLB Network if you're the Yankees or whoever you are. Games are on ESPN, games are on Fox. Let me tell you who's running that problem. Fox executives, Fox Sports, ESPN executives, who's looking at their programming saying, we have to have a hard time when this is over. How can we get to that hard time when this is over? Because you have your windows, right? You have your programming. If you have a live show that's on, you have a live baseball game, it goes from 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And that's your window. You want to make sure that whatever you program at 5 o'clock, you can get to.
Right.
Especially if you go to another live event. Because now you're tying up 2 networks and people can't get there about that.
Right.
So the TV time slots drive the time of the game.
And that's the big problem is, how many times has your wife said, in a football game, how much longer is that game going to be? Oh, there's 7:30 left in the fourth quarter. Now they ask you, how much longer is that baseball game going to be?
You have no idea. 2 innings, which could be 5 minutes or it could be an hour and a half.
And that drives your
That's
point.
what that Amy cracks up all the time when we're home watching a baseball game or a football game, and there's 2 minutes to go. She goes, "Well, that's another half hour."
Exactly.
Because it is all the timeouts and all the things.
And that's the thing that drives me crazy is, all right, so ESPN or whoever the network is or Fox will want to do a 2-minute commercial at every half inning. Okay, if you want to cut the game down,
cut to a minute.
Cut to a minute, or go to 2 minutes every other inning and a minute between every inning. You could cut down 15 minutes if you did that on that way.
Yep.
And so now you got 15 minutes of less time.
And the stuff
the other side of that
between pitches.
Well, but
that doesn't change the game like pointing to first base.
But even that, I mean, even if you say, okay, you got to stay in the box, and that I'm for that. I mean, I don't want more getting out every pitch and doing the hand stuff and that has no part in the game. That fixes nothing. If you suck at swinging, you can do all this and you still suck at swinging. You're still going to bat 1 for 100. It doesn't matter how good you look. If you can swing the stick, you can swing the stick. If you can pitch it, you can pitch it. If you can field it, you can field it. If you can't, it doesn't matter how good you look. You just look good doing bad baseball. So I don't care about that. But what happens in between is now you extend the game by extending that time in between the innings. So why not have a time where you don't go to commercial break? But the problem with that is, if you don't go to a commercial break, you don't make the revenue to pay all the clubs to be the broadcasting rights.
Well, as much money as I know our time's running short. As much money as MLB makes from their MLB package, you can't tell me there's not enough to go around. And if you cut it to a minute here, a minute there.
Well, somebody's got to make money, Bob. They're not doing it for the goodness of their heart. Unlike us, they're not doing it for free.
We're looking for a sponsor right now, but
they are in it to make money.
I understand.
And they're going to try to make as much money as they can for their network. So,
especially when you're paying Bryce Harper next year $1 billion for a contract, you're going to need to make the money. I mean,
well, the network's not paying them that.
No, I know, but the Washington Nationals, right?
The Washington's got to make their money.
They're exactly right.
They got to make their money somewhere.
Because that's one of my arguments with MLB package. I mean, I said this last week is they say, well, you watch the package. If I'm watching commercials from Los Angeles, local people in Los Angeles support the business. But if I see a McDonald's commercial, I'll make the McDonald's. But I live in Florida, there's McDonald's here. Who says I'm not supporting McDonald's here?
Right, you are. But that's the point, is that they still make their money whether anybody goes or not.
Right.
because the advertiser's the one shelling out the dollars for the time slot. And if nobody comes, that's not on the network. That's on your advertiser.
But it's not only baseball. The worst thing to be in college basketball, especially as a college basketball fan, is the 9 o'clock game on ESPN. Because I guarantee you, the 7 o'clock game never ends at 9 o'clock.
No, you end up on ESPN too.
Or ESPN News, and it'll say it and whatever, and then 3 minutes, or your score gets put up in the top right-hand corner, left-hand corner, whichever side I'm on here.
I don't know that we'll show any basketball from ESPN because they might check us, but other sources will look too. Hey, time is up. Believe it or not, 15 minutes has gone by. We'll come back in just a moment. We'll continue discussion, maybe actually get into some baseball predictions and cover some things about college sports.
And the tirade has been done for today.
It's done. So
I didn't do it.
So
they did.
Play ball. We'll see you in a minute.
They did it.